What's going on, keepers? I'm Kane and this is Noodle. And today we're doing a long awaited one. We're going to do tips and tricks on cleaning rodents, specifically ASFs in my case. There's going to be a lot of things in here that you may have already heard before, but there's also going to be some key tips that might just change the game for you. So stick around and see what we've got in store. Before we get going, I want to go ahead and get this out of the way because the last time I did a video, I was asked quite a bit where I got my rack. This is a homemade rack. I bought it used. It does have a gravity fed system. It's just little water nipples that run through these lines. And these are ARS 50 series tubs. So I just want to go ahead and let you guys know that because I know I'm going to get that question again. For starters, I just want to go ahead and show you what we use. We use aspen shavings. We get this from Walmart. I'm actually allergic to pine, so if you ever have any allergy reactions, there are people that are allergic to rodents. But for starters, I would try switching from pine to aspen because you may have heard before that pine gives reptiles respiratory infections. Well, it gives me respiratory infections, and maybe you too. I don't know. But anyway, the first tip is going to be have some extra tubs. I know, pretty obvious. But if you can have extra tubs and stage these ahead of time, it's going to make things way easier. Second one might not be in your control. Well, really everything is, but have a hard surface floor. Don't have your room on carpet. I know you've got what you've got, but if you've got this much of a reptile room, you can afford a couple $100s and swap out your floor, and trust me, you're going to love yourself for it. But regardless, so this is how we start out. So I went ahead and removed my leftover tubs from here, and we have 3 extra tubs to begin with on top of that. So it's not enough to do all of mine, but it's enough to do most of them. We currently run 8 breeding groups of 1.3, so 1 male and 3 females. We found that this is what works best for us. And then these other 8 tubs are grow outs. Sometimes they'll all be full, sometimes a few will be full. It just depends on how many I have. But this is literally what I do here. So I just grab 1, 2, and spread it out. Quick and easy like that. You don't gotta worry about the floor. You're gonna make a mess. 1, 2, just like that. And you can rack these things out real quick. Just trust me, if you only got 1 or 2 tubs, then whatever, take your time. But when you start getting a lot of tubs and a lot of rodents, that time adds up real quick. And I'm just a small guy with 1 rack. Let me tell you, when you get up to 4 or 5 racks, if you ever plan on getting to that point, you want to have a system where you're going. So this is quick and easy. You don't have to worry about carpet. You don't be particular about measurements when you're new. I know you want to get everything even. I used to. But just get in a habit where you can roughly guess. Some people like to put just as minimal bedding as they can. You can see that's you know, a little bit deeper. I like to get enough where they can dig around in there and kind of play. I mean, they're already locked in a box, so you know, let's give them that little bit of extra. So we're going to start off here. We're going to pull out our first tub. So what I do is I just pull it out, sit up. Trust me, you're going to be quick enough that they're not going to jump out of there in the time that it takes you to do this. If anything, they'll do that. The adults, they're really not that bad about getting out. They'll just stick their head up there and kind of look around. It's funny, they're like, what's going on? Let me check them out. They're not bad at all. Adults are great. Now, I know I may get some crap for this, but this is how I do it. So I pick up by the tail. I've tried picking up by the fur. I've tried picking up by my hand. And this is what has been the best for me. It's quick and easy. No bites, no shaking, no freaking out. Now, we've got some that we need to wean. So you can see we got some pinkies here. Oh, dude was just sleeping. And these, they're kind of in between. See how their eyes are starting to open up? but their ears are still kind of pinned back. So, okay, look at this guy right here. See how his ears are kind of sticking out and his eyes are up? Or his eyes are open? That's what you want to see. Sometimes when they just start opening their eyes, they're not quite ready to be swapped over. They still might be feeding off of mom a little bit. Now they'll feed off of mom even when their eyes are open and their ears are up. But that's a good telltale sign for me, because I've learned that lesson the hard way. I thought they were ready, moved them to another tub, and then they died off on me. And it still happens time to time. It's something that you're just gonna have to figure out. But that's the tips I give. Eyes open, ears up. So I've got those switched over. Now I want to go ahead and pretend like I did have some. I actually didn't have any to pull in that one, and I looked in my other ones and it just happened to be a time where I don't think any of them are ready. But I would already have me a tub down here ready for those babies when I started. If you'll notice in the video before, this was already out. So then I would come over here and swap my babies over and push it closed. And the whole time I'm doing my breeders, I would keep moving babies into that same tub. I would just put them all in there, all the wings that I'm pulling off. And then when I got done, if there was too many, I'll make a second tub. But you always want to go ahead and have a clean tub ready to be moving them out of. Now here is the game changers. This right here, this is what you need. This is for aquariums. Use it to scrape the glass on the inside. But what I use it for is dump my bedding out. This one's a pretty clean tub, but ASFs usually always pick one corner to use the bathroom in. Just scrape that bad boy out. Good to go. And I'll go ahead and stack them, and I'll just stack all my tubs up and do them all until I run out of clean tubs. The second thing, get you a trash can. Now if you'll notice, I'm not putting a bag in here, and this thing is disgusting. That's because we don't use bags. We live in the country. We've got a burn barrel. I just dump it in the burn barrel, pour a little gas on it, and light it. If you do that, be careful. It'll blow back on you. Put a little gas on a stick, light the stick, stick the stick over there and light it with it. Been warned. But that's what we do. If you have neighbors, you're not going to be able to do that. And here's why. It's not just going to burn. It'll burn for a little bit, and then the flame will go out, and it'll smolder all night. You'll get up the next morning, it'll be gone. It just sits there and disintegrates. But it lets out some stanky smoke, and if you got neighbors, they're going to be calling in on you. But if you're like me and you live in the country, hey, you know, it just burns up to nothing. But you can still use this if you don't live in the country and you can't burn. My dogs think I'm knocking at somebody. Sorry about that, dogs. But anyway, if you don't live in the country, you just get you some contractor bags. You put it in, roll it over the edges, and sit here and clean your tubs into the bag. And then when it gets full, you just tie it up, pull it out, you're good to go. Number one, right here, this scraper. I'm going to show you again with a dirtier tub in a minute. So just stick around for that. But scraper and a trash can. I showed you this a minute ago, but I want to go over one more thing that I didn't hit. You know, adults, just pick them up, move them over. Notice how these are not aggressive. I know people say ASFs are aggressive. No, okay. They may have used to be, and if you somehow get an old stock that still is, don't keep those. There are plenty of tame ones. These moms right here, they will not bite me for anything. I can pull them right off of the babies and not get bit. Same way with the babies. But I'm going to show you this. This is what I do for babies. So I work all of my babies down into the corner here. Just be patient. Just kind of work them down this way with your hand. And that's what you do. Keep your tub lean so they'll kind of migrate that way. You get them all in one corner and then come over here and just dump them over. Now I know, I hope I don't get flagged for this. I hope somebody's not like, that's cruel. If you've kept African soft furs, you know these scutters will jump from here to the floor and run. They're jumpers. That's what they do. They jump. This little much of a fall onto this soft bedding is not hurting them at all. And you're honestly causing them way less stress by doing that. You're not going to injure them. That's just the easiest way that I've found to move all the babies over. So just work them to the corner, and then just scoop them straight out. Man, I'm telling you, that is the way.
Have you been wanting to support our channel?
Do you love this KeeperCain content, but you can't keep a snake of your own? Well, we got merch! We've got quite a few things available. We've got cups, we've got stickers, we've got mugs, we've got hoodies, we've got t-shirts, and all in different colors. Click the link down below in the description for our merch. It'll be listed merch, and then it'll have the link. And check out what we've got. We'd love to have your business.
Don't put that in there.
Check these out. I've been thinking about switching over to these. Let me know what you think. So this is what a natural ASF looks like. Now, there's a ball python documentary where somebody went to Africa and they showed a picture of a piebald, for lack of better terms, ASF people, which is like this. That's not natural ASF. That's a mutation. This is a natural ASF. There's nothing alike. Also, see how long I was holding that up? No reaction. This isn't hurting them at all by lifting them this way. Another thing I want to show you, sometimes if they're small enough, you can just reach in there and grab them like that and lift them over. That works too. But I'm going to show you in just a minute where that scoop technique I was talking about comes in real handy, because once you get to the wings and hoppers, you're not going to be picking them up like that. So now I'm going to show you a grow out tub. So here we've got some grow outs. These are like wings and hoppers. These, you can still sit them up here, but I would suggest to be a little more timely. I usually don't have an issue with them crawling out. As you can see, we're still good. But if you sit there and lollygag around, you may have one. And you can see about how many's in there. And this is where that scooping method's really going to come in handy. You start working all them over. I was hoping I'd have some rambunctious ones here so I could show you about managing them when they're trying to climb up the sides. But they've all been pretty mild-mannered. So then just scoop them over. This is going to save you so much time. If one does fall, there's a good thing, is if they fall out, they usually just freeze for a second. It doesn't hurt them. I'm sure it doesn't feel great, but like I said, these things are made to jump. They're a jumping animal. You know, they'll jump way off something, about like your dog. You'll see him run and jump off the couch 20 foot. Yeah, if we tried to do something like that, we'd be hurt. For them, not a big deal. But anyway, if you do have one jump out, which inevitably, if you keep rodents, you're going to have ones that get out every once in a while. You just hurry, reach down, don't freak out, and grab it. Don't go putting your tub to the side and doing all this stuff, because then it's got time to get its senses and run off. Just quickly reach down there, they're kind of stunned for a moment, pick it up, put it in. But you can imagine that little tub, if I tried to sit there and pick every one of those out of there, well, you can't beat that. That's the kind of tubs that Michelle loves. It would have took forever sitting there getting those one at a time. And the longer you're messing around with those babies, the more stirred up they start getting, running around, jumping, acting stupid because they don't know what's going on. These ASFs sleep during the day a lot of times, so when you first pull the tub out, a lot of times they're kind of asleep. That's when it's a good time to coax them all over and get them over. The longer you're taking moving those over, the more they're getting awake, the more they're starting to stir around, and the more frantic they get, and it's harder to deal with. So that's why I say, just work them all over the corner, do a couple scoops, good to go. I'm telling you, I know it might seem like, oh, you're just dumping them all over. It's not hurting them, and it's saving you a lot of time. Honestly, this batch wasn't too dirty. Sometimes we put them off and it takes a little longer. I wanted to find a dirtier tub, but this is about the worst I got right now. But I just want to show, I mean, this thing is a lifesaver, man. And whether you're cleaning or if you're blessed like me and you've got a cleaner, aka Michelle, either one of you is going to appreciate how clean you get that. You see, that just took me just a second to do, and that's going to make it so much cleaner, so much easier when you do go to wipe it out. So I'm telling you, this right here, if I had to suggest one thing out of this video that you should get, is you should get one of these. It's made by Top Fin. It's just for cleaning aquarium glass, but I use it for cleaning rodents. I ought to make my own and trademark it, and the tub scraper or something. I use them for my snakes too. Of course we wash it when we get done, just like we wash the tubs. But this thing right here is a lifesaver.
So this is what we use to clean in our reptile room. It's called F10 SC Veterinarian Disinfectant Spray. And we use it with this. We use 5 milliliters and we dilute it with water. We put it in a spray bottle and fill it up to about right here.
Alright, one thing I forgot to mention. You see how I stack my tubs up here crisscross like this? That's how you want to stack them up. That way you can wash them all at once. See, we've run out of clean tubs. We still have a few left to do, so it'll take us 2 rounds to get through all of them. But you don't want to stack them inside of each other because then you're going to get the bottom of your tub dirty. If you stack them like this, it takes up a little more room, but then you're just cleaning the inside of your tub. But now me and Michelle do things a little bit different. I'm a bit more of a savage. I don't wear gloves. Michelle is smart and she does. But she typically cleans most of our rodent bins and snake bins. I'm blessed. And so I figured I would let her show her cleaning the tubs.
So basically I just make sure I wet the whole tub. It's a lot easier to make sure it's wet. It picks up a lot more. Make sure you get like the corners and stuff really good. Then you take paper towels or whatever you're using. Paper towels is good, I guess. And I like to put my tub like this and start in the corner and wipe my way down. Just keep wiping. Make sure you get the corners really good because stuff tends to stick in there. Sometimes it takes more than one paper towel. It depends.
Yeah, the tubs today aren't as dirty. Sometimes they can be really bad if you get a leaky nozzle or you put it off a little bit longer.
Sometimes it's like hard stuff on stuff, you just gotta scrub a little bit. And there you have it, a clean tub.
Nice.
So I forgot to say this, sometimes if the other tub's like really dirty, I let it soak while I'm cleaning the other tubs. Just like spray a little bit in them and let it set so they can get like smooth and moist.
Yeah, because this stuff, when it's dry, sometimes it can be hard to scrape off. But if you just wet it and let it sit on there for a second, it comes right off real easy most of the time. For the most part, that's pretty much it for us. Like I said, I just want to reiterate that these are some pretty decent size ASFs right here. I mean, they're not hateful or mean in the least bit. I know some people say, oh, ASFs are this or that, and I also want to touch on the fact that some people say they're addictive to ball pythons. No, they're not. You know, if you've got a picky ball python, you've got a picky ball python. They can be hooked on rats, mice, ASF, they can be hooked on anything. ASFs are not this addicting rodent that once they start eating them, they're never going to stop. Trust me. I went back and forth feeding different rodents with my snakes. Now we only do ASF because I think they're easy. They never get too big to be eaten. They're a lot cleaner. They don't smell as bad. There's so many things that I could go on about. But this isn't a why African sulfur is a great video. But I still just want to throw in some tidbits here and there. But pretty much that's it for us, guys. We're going to wrap it up right here and get this done because I've been cleaning this room all day and we're ready to be done. It's down in the evening. But yeah, if there's anything you think I left out, hit me up down in the comments below. I'll be more than gracious to answer your questions. And also, if you have any tips or you think something that could have been improved a little bit, let me know what your ways are. Do you have something that you're like, hey, this is what you need to do? Because man, we're looking to save time any way we can. But that's pretty much it for us. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention. Well, I'll throw this in too. It's really crucial that you keep food and water for these guys. I know that's common sense, but I'm telling you, if they run out of food, it's not good. But if they run out of water, they go downhill quick. But the reason I bring that up is because I want to mention, if somebody asks what kind of food we use Kallenbach. It's the high protein. I don't have the bag in here, but we get it from our local farmers co-op, and we keep it in like a little, this is like a dog food container. We just filled it up. And you can also get these from a farmer's market. But if I can find one, I'll put them down in the description as well, along with the little dog food thing. We usually buy 2 bags at a time, and by the time I fill up all of their things, and then I can fit the other bag and a half in that with my scoop, and that'll last me for a good minute. But I just wanted to say what kind of food I've used. I've tried Missouri, I've tried Tucker Millen. I have not fed dog food. I'm not saying that it's wrong. Some people feed dog foods and cat foods. Some people put in a lot of seeds, sunflower seeds and different things. I don't do that. I just feed the Kallenbach. But I want to throw that in there too. Alright, keepers, as always, I appreciate you watching today's video. And remember, all the products that we've shared, that we've recommended, will be in the links down below. Just search the description, and there'll be a section that says products, and we'll have links for all of those. And of course, you can always go to the places and get them. But if you're like me and you don't want to, just click Amazon and ship it to your house. But as always, remember, your hobby can bring you joy, but only Jesus can bring you peace. Hope to see you guys in the next one.